All right, startup weekend online, unite to fight COVID-19. How are we feeling? So usually when I do this, I get the response from the entire room. Everyone goes crazy. We're live. The event's kicked off. It's full of energy. The room is bustling. Everyone wants to hustle. Everyone wants to work hard for the entire weekend. Right now, I'm just looking at numbers. I'm looking at 41 people watching this live stream right now. And these 41 people are only a subset of the 200 plus registration participants that we have as part of this weekend. And I have to say, I'm extremely excited to be spending 54 hours with a lot of you over the weekend, just doing great stuff, doing impactful stuff together. So on behalf of myself and the entire organizing team, welcome to this very first global startup weekend online, unite to fight COVID-19. We're all in this together, all right? This is the very first time we've run an event like this online. There will be problems along the way. It will be messy, but that's part of the fun. So I really hope we can all just have a good time together. We've also come together as one country in this particular period of time with large challenges faced around us. One country fighting for the future of our economy, the future of our society. So a little bit about myself. So I'm Phil. I'm one of the facilitators for this event, and I will be joined by some of my co-facilitators, Maya and Sharon, in a little bit. But about myself, I'm head of programs for an organization called Creative Enterprise Australia. We are a creative innovation hub based out of Brisbane, but working nationally on supporting founders, entrepreneurs, and startups to start, to grow, to scale their businesses across Australia and internationally. We work a lot within the creative industries, the creative technologies, but we've expanded that definition quite a bit to supporting our new creative economy. I've been part of the Techstars network for a few years now. In fact, my own journey has started at Startup Weekend in 2013 when I joined for the first time in Bangkok, and it's absolutely changed my life. And I hope a lot of you can have an experience similar to what I experienced a few years ago only. As facilitators, this is our job. Our job is to create the best possible experience for you. So please don't hesitate to constantly come out and ask us questions. We are here for you if there's anything you need throughout the entire weekend. I'm joined by my co-facilitators, Maya and Sharon, and I'll actually introduce them quickly on screen or ask them to introduce themselves here on screen while they're with us. So Sharon, please join me on this live stream.
Hi, Phil. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to get this event kicked off. So I'm Sharon Honeybell. I'm the CEO of the Gold Coast Innovation Hub and also co-founder of Startup Apprentice. I absolutely love Startup Weekends. I just did a bit of maths before, and this is actually the 13th Startup Weekend that I've organised. I've also been a mentor at 6 different Startup Weekends. And my last Startup Weekend was the very first one I facilitated because I've always had a little bit of stage fright. So, you know, you do learn and grow through Startup Weekends, and that's part of what makes it amazing. So I'm here to say, have a great time. Reach out if you need anything. We've spent a lot of time working with a lot of entrepreneurs across the Gold Coast, and really happy to make connections and help you have the best weekend you can.
All right, just stay on the screen for a little bit longer, Sharon, when I invite our third facilitator, Maya, to join us. Hey, Maya.
Hi, Phil. Hi, Sharon. Hey, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm the National Programs Manager for Young Change Agents, and I'm a Board Director for the Foundation of Young Australians. So I'm very passionate about empowering young people, particularly to fulfil their potential. But I used to work at the University of Technology, Sydney, so I just love working with anyone who wants to learn anything about entrepreneurship. I've been working with Startup Weekends for almost 3 years now. I've never facilitated. This is my first facilitation, which is a very unusual way to start facilitating. But I'm very, very excited.
Yes, and so are we to have you as part of the facilitation team. And yeah, what a first one to start, hey? Online to start with, you know, it's such a big difference. But, you know, so much fun getting this up and running. Maya, we're also joined. So, we haven't done this whole thing, just the 3 of us. I mean, we have a pretty amazing organizing team. And we've been working really hard over the last few weeks. So, Maya, maybe you could introduce everyone else who's made this possible.
Absolutely. We've had a team of amazing people helping us. Some have organised a few Startup Weekends, whereas some others just attended one Startup Weekend earlier this year, and now they've joined us to help us, which has been incredible. So you've met Phil and myself. We've also had Dren, who has done an excellent job organising all of our mentors, and he's the one you can go to for any questions about mentors. He's got them all scheduled in for sessions with you, so that's going to be really exciting. We've had Sarah, who's in Sydney with me, and she's been doing an excellent job connecting all our partners and organising our prizes as well. We've also had Daniela and Nancy and Ocean, who are all from the last Startup Weekend that ran in Brisbane, so it's incredible to have them on board. Daniela's been helping with our content and promotion, which has been incredible. Nancy's been doing promotion and public relations and communication. She'll also be running some of the sessions tomorrow, which will be great. Ocean has been doing an excellent job engaging universities and really writing some of the messages that we've been sending to you guys, which has been awesome. And our amazing Azra is the person to talk to about socials. If you want to feature on any of our socials, send her a fun video and you will appear all over our Twitter, Instagram, all of our channels. And then we've had Ria, who has also been helping with promotions, which has been incredible. Ben is our tech guru. We've had the lovely Sharon, who you've met, who's been helping with all the communication and been onboarding all of you who've late registered. We've got the lovely Renee, who's been doing some media outreach and will be helping select all of the ideas that go through to judges tomorrow. And then we've got the incredible Yuk, who's going to be our mentor, but who's also running our pitch masterclass on Sunday, as he has won at least 3 startup weekends, I believe, in different locations across the world. So he will be a great person to support you all. And that's our team. Back to you, Phil.
All right, great. Thanks so much for that, Maya. That's a pretty amazing team to have worked with, and also it's just
Absolutely.
such an experience as an organizer to also have done all of this online and virtually. So a lot of us are dispersed all over the country. We've got team members on the Sunshine Coast, the Gold Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. I think that's probably everything covered. But yeah, oh no, Singapore. Yuk is actually an Australian living in Singapore right now. So a pretty distributed and remote team.
Yeah, it's an international team.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know we showed these these beautiful photos of ourselves, but in reality, during the weekend, a lot of the experience of looking at us is going to be this. Okay, these are our Discord profiles, and we're actually going to be using Discord as a platform for all of our communications, for all of our daily chatter, for all of your questions, but also for your team collaboration. So I'm not sure if everyone's already on Discord, but I thought we could run a really fun exercise just to get everyone on board, because really you need to be there to make the most out of this experience. So I'm not going to share with you the Discord link, but I'm going to share with you the following link. If you go to bit.ly/SW Australia-Notion, you'll actually go to our resource kit. This is your source of truth for the weekend. This is also where you will find the link to Discord if you haven't joined yet. So maybe if you're live on this stream right now, take a photo or take a screenshot of this link, because you'll absolutely need to go to this to find out more about the ideas that have been chosen, the schedule of the weekend, mentor profiles, judging criteria, how you access some of the amazing perks that we have as part of the weekend, how you, what the prizes are, what the judging criteria are, and so on and so on, as well as a bunch of resources. So please make a note of this link, and you will need this throughout the weekend. All right, what we will do next is actually for everyone to jump into Discord. Now, Discord is organized in a series of channels, and we'll talk about the mechanics of those channels more. But the first thing we want you to do when you join Discord now is go to a channel that's called Just for Fun, okay? Because Just for Fun is that channel where you don't have to care too much about what you put in there, right? Some ideas, some fun photos, some things that are happening throughout the weekend that are worth sharing, but they're not necessarily work-related. So go into Just for Fun, and then what you'll do is actually take your phone and take a selfie of you and your work from home setup, because really we're all going to be working from home. So I'll do mine now, and post that selfie into the Just for Fun channel. What we'll do with those afterwards is we'll collect all of those photos that will make our very first group photo. Because as you can imagine, one of the issues of running an online hackathon or an online event is that it's really hard to get everyone into one group photo. So if you could do that right now, if you have any issues, all right, if you have any issues, with your photo being used on socials or whatnot, then feel free not to do it. Right? Feel free not to do it. Feel free to also reach out to us organizers and tell us what your concerns may be. But for everyone else, please submit your selfies now. And I've queued up 2 videos, probably about 2 or 3 minutes worth of content while we do that.
It's always a challenge to start with an idea and then work with a team you haven't worked with before, and that's like a valid business proposition. You learn valuable skills along the way that I think are transferable across many domains.
PhD Entrepreneurship is set up to enable opportunities for all students and staff to participate in, to develop that entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneurship is a skill that will take you into the future.
Some of the mentors have given great advice, even some really important constructive criticism that's taken us from a bit of an idealistic perspective to thinking more about the ground realities.
Winning idea is something that solves real problems that exist and meaningful problems.
Everything is incredibly fast-paced. You have to be ready at any moment to give a pitch. And it really helps, having the practice here, because out in the real world, people may not be as accepting and kind in university. So you really have to be more thick-skinned and toughen out to be able to tell your idea, but with conviction and confidence.
This is a moment of unprecedented challenge. A moment that demands new ideas, new approaches, entirely new ways of thinking about the way we live and work and relate to each other. How we relate to the world and worlds beyond. What we need more than ever are entrepreneurs, from Birmingham to Bangalore and everywhere in between. This idea that you need to be in this or that place, have a PhD or be a coding genius, forget it. If you have an idea, a passion, grit and determination, an unyielding belief in what's possible, now is your time. And this is why we exist. To put founders first. To mentor them, connect them, inspire them. To give them everything they need to succeed. Not just because we love it, but because the world needs it. More than ever.
Wow. All right. I'm just a little bit moved by that last video, and also so relevant, obviously, to the time where we're all coming together for this event. We're really coming together as one community. We're really coming together as one nation, and we've seen a lot of things happen over the last month. We've actually seen so many virtual events. We've actually seen so many opportunities to bring people together. Community coming together, looking for solutions to big problems. And the innovation community and the innovation ecosystem is part of that story, right? It is our responsibility as this community of innovators, of entrepreneurs, to be working on the future of our country. And I want to invite next on the screen a good friend of mine and someone who can speak to this really, really well, and that is Chad Renando. He's the Managing Director of the Global Entrepreneurship Network Australia, founder of Startup Status, and also one of those community leaders that really has taken a leading position over the last month, rallying the entire ecosystem, groups from all over Australia to be talking about the big problems, to be talking about the things that need to get done. And so I just wanted to give you probably about 5 minutes, Chad, and welcome. It's good to see you. But 5 minutes to just tell us a little bit about what you've seen and some of the insights that you've had, and maybe some words of advice for everyone who's here with us tonight.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Phil. And yeah, I mean, those videos were definitely inspiring, as well as all the people involved, and looking through some of the people in the chats. Yeah, I'm honored to be here. It's a really great team putting this on, and great people in the chat rooms. Look, there's three things I want to get across from what I've seen, particularly over the last month. And one thing that's really striking me is that now is the perfect time to be solving a problem. Like not just in general now, like on the 24th of April, doing a hackathon this very weekend is got to be the absolute perfect time if we're going to be doing something new. And there's three things that strike me as the reason why. And first is because right now we are more digitally enabled than ever before. Like the virus has changed the way we work, the way we play, the way we get entertained, the way we're in community, how we consume news, how we communicate, how we do business, how we get educated, how we take care of others, and how we connect. Just for example, I mean, we know that the Zoom user base has gone from like 10 million to over 200 million in like 3 months. And what that means, there's another article that came out recently that says we are all early adopters. Like everybody is just trying something new. And one of the hardest things for anybody that's done a startup weekend before to do is to get people to change, right? Well, right now people are in like this constant state of change. And right now everything is changing. And so now is a perfect time. And the second thing is that we're increasingly locally focused, but our network is now more global than ever. The fact that we have people in a hackathon, which is typically in a single location all over the world, helping being facilitated everywhere. You know, our manufacturing and supply networks are being disrupted. And at the same time, people are looking for answers for something local. And we're all learning from each other. So how do we do things for ourselves, for something that's local, but then also be able to share it with the world? And that comes to the third point, is that, again, more than ever, we have a complex, wicked problem to solve. Anybody who's been through a startup weekend before know they're typically around big challenges, but those challenges are typically isolated. Now more than ever, we have something that is so complex and wicked. And by complex and wicked, we mean that no single organization can solve this. Government can't come and say, we're going to fix this. Universities and research can't solve this on their own. Industry or a corporation can't come along and create a magic cure. Like, that's just not happening. We need everybody working together, which is what we have in these startup weekends. Collaboration is absolutely key. And so what kind of opportunity we have in uncertainty? So what are we actually looking for here? Well, there's 3 typical stages for a crisis like something like this. And the first stage, as we've all experienced over the last, particularly the first few weeks, is response. And how do we respond? And some communities are still going through that, of just a bit of a reaction point of saying, you know, what do we do now? But the second one, which is what we're moving into a bit more, is around recovery. And what do we need for what they're calling the road out? But then as we look even further down, what do we need for resilience, for all the areas that we're going to be focusing on, again, from entertainment, communication, vulnerable populations, health, business, like what do we need to sustain us moving forward in what may be a very new world? So right now we do have an opportunity to try something new. Like, this is new for all of us. None of us have been here before. And I would ask, you know, if not now, then when? We're all learning. And so we have an opportunity now to give it a go. Secondly, solve something that you're familiar with, something that you know a little bit about, but then also solve it for others that you know, and then share it with the world. And finally, you know, how can we work with others as we do this? Like, I think I went through my first startup weekend in 2012, and the people I went through, I can look at them now across the room, and they're the ones I work with, you know, almost 10 years on. And they're helping me change the world even now. Those leaders that I met, and back then we were all just kind of figuring out, a bit nervous when we pitched, is this really a thing, trying to solve the customer's problem? What does it all look like? And now those same people, like, they're, you know, it's incredible to see where they've gone. So what you're building now is going to take you into the future. I'd really just encourage you to just give it a go. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm really excited for what's going to come out of this.
Yeah, and Chad, thank you so much for joining us, and that's you know, that's awesome. I love your work, and what you've been able to do over the last month has been incredible. So obviously, yes, you know, foundations this weekend for the road ahead, right? Transformation ahead. What can you say in terms of a word of advice for what's actually feasible, you know, in 54 hours?
Yeah, look, well, it's the principles of most startup weekends. Like how do you find somebody with a problem to solve now to test it out? Like it is like starting small, just something that will solve a problem now. And really, it's something that another startup weekend facilitator, Daniel Johnson, likes to share a lot. Is just, you know, all you got to do is sell one, get one person to agree to give it a go, because then if you get one, then can you get two? If you get two, can you get four? So to test out, is there something that you can do over the weekend? Well, what's the one thing you can do to make a difference in that one area? So for example, if it's education, you know, is there something where you can test something on somebody that would then use that moving forward? So, you know, standard principles of startup weekends: how do you start small, test it out, validate it, and ideally get a customer by the end of the weekend.
100%. That's awesome, Chad. Thank you for joining us. Chad will be there as a mentor, I believe, tomorrow as well.
Tomorrow and Sunday.
Tomorrow and Sunday. I'll tell you more about how you can book his time. Don't all jump at his roster right now. He'll be available, and always happy to have a chat. All right, Chad, thank you so much. Let's move on to the rest of the evening. Okay, so a little bit about Startup Weekend and about Techstars. Our mission is to inspire change in the lives of entrepreneurs like you. As you've heard from the stories so far, we're here really to build capability in founders and innovators. We're also here to, look at some of the big challenges that are being faced and inspire to take action on those challenges. Next, I do want to welcome, and this is not going to be in person, I'm sorry, but the CEO of Techstars, David Brown, and he also had a few words to share with all of us globally now, being part of this online startup weekend. So, David, I'll start your video, and I'll just pretend you're there. We're so happy to have you here.
Hi, everybody. I'm David Brown, co-founder and CEO of Techstars.
Hey, David.
I am super humbled and honored to see how many people have come together at such a critical moment all around the world. COVID-19 has created this shared experience for all of us in different countries where we're all experiencing many of the same shift in lifestyle. And I think it's so great that so many people are coming together to help solve what is the world's most important problem of our lifetime. So a little bit on Techstars. We're all about entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I'm 55 years old. I've never had a job interview. I've only ever worked at startups. And at Techstars, we invest in entrepreneurs all around the world. We've made over 2,000 investments now in companies that are really changing the world and making it a better place. And so that's really what this weekend is all about. It's based on our in-person version of Startup Weekend. I have an old school Startup Weekend Fargo t-shirt on from many years ago. But we're going to see if we can launch some incredible ideas over the course of the next 54 hours or so. So I'm sure you're all eager to get on with it. I just wanted to provide a few words of encouragement. I'm going to participate. I'm going to mentor and judge in various programs around the world. And this is your chance to make the world a better place. Entrepreneurs are more important than ever before. It is really important that we come up with some big ideas and some big solutions to solve what is the world's biggest problem of our lifetime. For our part, we're going to be inviting 20 of the best participants from all around the world to join the Techstars Innovation Bootcamp to be able to progress their great ideas even further. So thanks a lot for letting me drop in, and thanks for joining us in this super important work. Have an awesome weekend and good luck. It's going to be a really great ride.
Thank you, David. That's great. I have a really great surprise for all of you. Is that David's actually going to be joining us live on Sunday morning for our virtual breakfast. So David's going to be there, and we're going to spend about 45 minutes together talking about the things we've been working on as part of the weekend. We'll get some feedback from him. We'll be able to chat about anything related to entrepreneurship within this current context. We'll also be giving 3 one-on-one virtual mentor sessions with David to some of the teams. We'll run some kind of a short competition internally on the Saturday to decide on which teams are going to have 20 minutes with David Brown. We are joining a global initiative here. So we're just one of 70 plus countries that are part of this startup weekend this weekend. So we are really part of a big innovation machine, a big innovation platform, looking at solutions to the current challenges around us. We stand to inspire, educate, and empower all to take action. So here are some of the locations you can have a look at. Basically everywhere in the world. Startup Weekend overall has been around for quite a while. There's more than 350,000 alumni walking around, all people that are running their businesses or are being entrepreneurial in their own rights. 12,000 or more organizers around the world. So we're just only a small subset of that. 1,300 cities across the world where it's organized. And actually, Australia has a high volume of activity for startup weekends. We have startup weekends in Perth, we have them in Melbourne, we have them in Brisbane, we have them on the Gold Coast, on the Sunshine Coast, lots of regional areas that are part of it, Cairns, Townsville, Rockhampton, they all have their startup weekends running, and they exist really to be the catalyst for our entrepreneurial communities. And so anyone who's interested in running one of these within your own community, don't hesitate over the weekend to reach out to the Startup Weekend Australia team. So all 12 of us, we'd be happy to share some of our ideas, and maybe even lend a hand in organizing one across, in your own city or region. We're calling people from all over Australia. One of the things I wanted to do is also, and you can do this in the YouTube live comments or maybe on Discord, but also just get a sense of where everyone here is from. So maybe just throw it in the YouTube live stream, and just I want to know where you're from, so I get a sense of that, because it's really weird be talking to my screen here at home. Well, I know that there's people from all over the country, thousands of kilometers away potentially, that are listening to this. COVID-19 in Australia, about just a little over a month since we've been in lockdown, more than 6,000 cases that have been confirmed, and a lot of recoveries as well. But obviously, lots of death and sickness as well, which is a really sad part to this whole story, and why the challenges created around there are so immense and so vast for all of us. I wanted to, I guess, invite either Sharon or Maya back here to run us through some of the things that we've put forward as being vertical suggestions. These are kind of the sectors that are really affected by this, and maybe some ideas around where there is opportunity for innovation. Sharon.
Thank you. So there's been some verticals that have been suggested, which most of the ideas that have come through so far have fallen in line with. So we just wanted to run through what they are. So I think we've got individual slides for each one, don't we? Yeah. So health is obviously the first one. This is a massive health crisis. So how can we find ways to scale health initiatives and identify new solutions to help healthcare systems to cope with this overwhelming demand that they're currently under? The next vertical is the unseen. So some people have been affected more than others. So how can we help the needy, the people who've lost their jobs, the people that have not able to support themselves through this time? What can we do to make their life a little bit easier? For businesses, how do we help them to stay afloat? How do we help them to collaborate effectively while working remotely? How do we help them support their workers? There's lots of great ideas that have come through in that vertical. Now the community. So we're all separated. So how do we come together during this crisis? How do we combat social isolation? How do we promote new connections? What are new ways that we can connect? And then, of course, entertainment. We've all got to find new ways to entertain ourselves now that we can't spend hours at the pub. So are there some alternatives to traditional forms of entertainment that can keep everyone safe and healthy?
Big one.
And of course, the education system. Now, what a hit the education system has had, from students all having to work remotely, to even things like the international students and people traveling to study. It's all been thrown up in the air. So how can we create alternative learning environments and tools for teachers and students to have lessons effectively? And I even think there's good opportunities here for us to remove some barriers that perhaps have always been there, and the sort of siloed approach we've had to education. How can we make it a more broader experience? How can we bring people all over the world into our education experience.
All right, great. And we've asked many of you to submit ideas, or all of you we've asked to submit ideas prior to the start of the weekend. Now, some registrations came in after the deadline on the Wednesday night. In fact, there's quite a few of you that have registered over the Thursday and the Friday. So let's talk more about that. But we've seen incredible ideas being submitted, and we've chosen some of the ideas to take further into this weekend, as we can all contribute to some of the best, some of the most impactful ideas out there. So I just wanted to give you a sense of clarity around what we've looked at in this initial assessment. And it's is it original? Is it an innovative idea to start with? So is it where does it come from, and is it from a new place, a place that requires the level of investment and research and hard work to get up and running? The second one is the second criteria is what's the impact that it potentially can create, also in the context of the current pandemic. We are looking for big problems. Obviously, big problems are there, but we're also looking for solutions that are going to be very impactful in the context, in the current context and beyond. So those were the two things we looked at in the idea selection. We've actually shared those ideas with you earlier today, and a lot of you have jumped onto Notion. A lot of you have jumped onto Discord, started discussing some of them, breaking them apart, putting them back together. Lots of critical questions around there, which is great. But also, little by little, you started organizing yourselves in your own channels and started what will become tonight the process of team formation, right? So look at the ideas. Don't only look at the ideas you really like, but look at the problem statements, at the problem spaces that you are really passionate about, because the solution can go anywhere. But if you're passionate about the problem and you put together a good team, that's where you'll get the most out of this weekend. All right. Partners. We have global partners on board for this event. 70 plus countries participating. We have 700 or so community leaders like us running around and organizing these things. And some amazing partners have come on board to give us some resources for the weekend. And so I'll run through them really quickly. So first of all, Google for Startups have given us $300 in cloud platform credits for each of us. So you can register that as part of the weekend. You can start to build some of your solutions in the cloud through their platform. And so again, these details are all in Notion. So if you're looking for those packs and offers, just go and look for them in Notion. Nurstar, which used to be .co. .co is the .community or .cool domain, however you want to interpret it. But it is the startup domain extension of choice. People from all over the world in startup weekends of the last years have been registering .co domains, and there's lots of great stuff happening there. So you'll have a .co domain, you have Google Cloud, we've also got Differential Ventures on board. The Differential Ventures came on board as a global partner for one of the prizes. So 5 of the companies that go through the Innovation Bootcamp will receive a $10,000 grant to really take their innovation, their product or their service or their platform, whatever it may be, to the next level. And a little bit of money doesn't hurt and will really help you do that. Adobe Spark, if you're looking to do some graphic design, this is the platform for you. So you can sign up with their special offer. And so everything you need to do as part of this weekend when it comes to mocking up some designs for your socials or quickly putting something together, use Spark for that. It's awesome. Upwork, you get a free 1-month upgrade to Upwork Plus if you want to hire people from all over the world to help you build out your solution. This is where you would want to start. And what better time to actually be looking at working with a network of freelancers from across the world to help you do stuff, because really we're all working remotely on our individual product services or for our companies. Finally, DigitalOcean have come on board for the region here in APAC for all of your cloud necessities. So you get $100 worth of cloud credits. DigitalOcean is awesome if you really want to, if you quickly want to spin up a web app, a platform, a website. They've got can't remember what they call droplets. Yes, they've got droplets that you can just quickly deploy. So let's say you want a WordPress site up and running, boom, just activate that droplet and you have that up and running. If there's any other web apps that you want to deploy quickly, just use DigitalOcean for that. It's awesome. Finally, this is a real final one, is Wiley that have come on board with free content for all of us. And so you can sign up through the bit.ly Startup Weekend Wiley link there. And so you'll have access to educational material, books, and so on. Maya or Sharon, maybe a little bit about our local partners as well, because those are really, really important in getting this event up and running, like on the ground, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much to all of our local partners. As Phil mentioned earlier, we do have some really wonderful innovation spaces around Australia, and also some really great organisations that support entrepreneurship. And a lot of them have come to the front as our local partners for this event. So I'll quickly run through them. We've got the Young Change Agents, who do fantastic programs around social enterprise for youth. QUT, Creative Enterprise Australia, where Phil's from, who obviously do a wonderful job in the creative space, helping people to build and launch fantastic creative enterprises. Fishburners, one of the best workspaces for entrepreneurs they had their original space in Sydney. They have one in Brisbane. I'm not sure if I think they've got one in Melbourne now. They're popping up everywhere. But another great resource. University of Sydney, and then Knowledge Hub, they've got some great entrepreneurship programs going on there. So again, thank you for coming forward. Hackathons Australia, they have also been doing some great things throughout the COVID crisis, bringing people together to hack together new solutions, and they're always coming out there with other hackathons. So great to have their support. The Generator is one of those regional hubs that we've spoken about before. So they're out in Bundaberg, and they're a great supporter. And then we have Gold Coast Innovation Hub and our funding partner, 42 Ventures. So 42 Ventures are our assist entrepreneurs with venture capital and all of their funding needs.
Great. And I do have to say, like, there's lots and lots of people that have been part of it that are not on this slide. As I said, we've received a lot of support from the innovation community. We've had support from state governments and their innovation departments to help share the information about the event, co-working spaces across the country, innovation hubs from across the country. So thank you all for being part of this. Global prizes for the win as well. Sharon, did you want to cover those?
Sure.
Yeah.
They were touched on a little bit by David, and also in the partner benefits. But so yeah, the top 20 teams. Now this is globally. Will be invited to a 3-day Techstars Innovation Bootcamp, and then from that bootcamp, the top 5 graduates will receive a $10,000 US dollar grant from Differential Ventures to be able to continue building their product.
Great. Yeah, absolutely great. We have some local prizes as well, Sharon.
Yep, and then locally, so we have we've got $250 worth of Visa gift cards from 42 Ventures and Gold Coast Innovation Hub, and also an investment readiness package from 42 Ventures. Fishburners have put forward a virtual membership. Sydney Knowledge Hub have also put forward a membership, and there's a scale-up membership available for the Generator in Bundaberg and a membership for the Generator in Gympie. So even though probably the biggest prize that'll come out of this weekend is being able to create a solution that could possibly help thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, there's still some great little perks there for the teams at home.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So we've been on this live stream for about 45 minutes now. So I think I need actually a deep breath before we continue. So maybe it's something we can do all together. So maybe we can just all stand up for a second, because I'm sure you're all, or most of you are behind your computer screens. I can show off my, my Startup Weekend Next Gen T-shirt as well. Throughout the weekend, I think you'll see some Startup Weekend T-shirts by the organizers and the facilitators. But if we can all just take maybe a, oh, there we go, Techstars. What are you wearing, Sharon? Yeah, Startup Weekend. All right, go Coast. Yeah. All right, let's move on. All right, take a deep breath in. And all right, and then just like move your arms around, get a little bit of movement in. And we're probably just gonna have to keep going really, because we want to get through quite a lot of content in the next 40 minutes. If you are sharing anything about this weekend, and I hope you will, I hope we will show the world, we will show Australia what great things are happening during this weekend. Use the hashtag, the really long hashtag, COVID-19 Startup Weekend. I can assure you that when you start typing it, COVID-19, a lot of stuff starts to show up. But once you get to the star part, Startup Weekend should start to appear and to auto populate. So easy to do. You don't have to type it all. Cool. What to expect from this weekend? Just a few numbers. We're going to spend 54 hours together. All right. All of you have lives, I'm sure. You have things to do. We don't expect you to be behind your computer screens for 54 hours. Do whatever you need to do. Eat healthy, get some exercise, spend some time with family if you can, and then spend really good amounts of time working on your project. And also, you'll have access to a bunch of masterclasses, workshops, and stuff, and programming that happens throughout the weekend. So pick and choose what you want to do. Most of our activities will be recorded, so you can watch them in your own time as well. But there's a few other numbers. We've got about 200 people who are going to be part of this, and most of them are on Discord already. But in addition, we have about 50 facilitators, organizers, mentors, judges, startups, and partners that are going to be part of this weekend as well. And obviously, there's one mission. It's strengthening Australia's innovation community and future. All right. This weekend can be a little bit messy at times, and I think it's going to be a little bit more messy because of our first online delivery. So please, with everything, trust the process. Right? Trust the process. We are here for you. If there's any questions, please just ask. But also, the philosophy of Startup Weekend is that not everything has to be entirely clear to you at every moment in time. We also just don't want to give you a step-by-step guide of this is what you need to do, because that's not how it works. You're all working on your individual projects and businesses. Do whatever needs to be done. If you feel like it's a bit messy, you don't know where you are, you're probably in the right place. But if you have more questions, you can find us. Not too many rules, but a few guiding principles. Right. Law of 2 feet is one of those guiding principles that I take with me everywhere I facilitate and just in my life. Is that it really means that you are responsible and in charge and in control of your own experience through this. You'll get as much done this weekend as you put in and as you decide to put in. And the law of 2 feet really goes like this. It's like if you don't find yourself contributing to anything or learning in a particular moment, you always have the choice to move to somewhere where you can do that, okay? The law of 2 feet is strictly enforced by the 1 foot. It's that any of the organizers will kick you in the ass, virtually, obviously, if you're not progressing through the weekend. Also, this is a safe place, and the second guiding principle is one of respect. Okay, we're all in this together, but also we all come from diverse backgrounds, different places across Australia or the world. We have different ideas, we have different life experiences, we have different skills, we have different cultural context. Respecting each other through this experience is what will allow us to make the most out of this. And in fact, working in a diverse team is the most magical thing, or the most magical gift you can make to yourself as part of Startup Weekend. So please respect each other, form a diverse team, share ideas and make the most out of the weekend. What will you do specifically day one? This is right now. Okay, we are here right now on the Friday. You'll meet each other online on Discord. Share your ideas. So that's ongoing. A lot of you are talking about these things. After this live stream, we're going to be guiding you through a process of team formation. And after this team formation is sort of done, you will formalize this by registering to your team in a beautifully presented Google Sheet. So you just put the team name and whoever are the team members in your team, and basically you can get to work. What I suggest doing on the first day is trying to find a way to jump on a call with your team. Okay, get to know each other. Talk a little bit more about the idea. It might be something that you came up with, at some moment in time. You don't have all the answers yet. Get all of the other brains of your team to come together and help build those ideas and I guess deconstruct the idea before you put it back together. So that's the Friday kickoff, networking, sharing ideas, forming teams, starting work. Day 2, tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's lots of things happening, all right? You can find all of this in Notion, but we'll have a virtual breakfast to start with. We'll have 3 masterclasses or throughout the day. We'll have an online session to check in with you and for any questions you may have. And we'll even have a wellness and well-being session sometime in the afternoon as well. So look at the calendar. There's a bunch of things happening. But in addition to that, you'll have about 30 or 40 mentors that are available to you to talk to. And so you can book time with them, 20 minutes slots at a time, and learn from some of Australia's leading experts in particular sectors or industries. So attend one of the workshops. And basically by the end of day 2, it's getting close to crunch time, right? Because on day 3, you'll be focused on building your deck, building a slide deck, building your final pitch. So you really want to get as much work done on the Saturday as you can to leave Sunday morning open for all the things you haven't gotten to yet, that you still, all these loose ends that you still need to tie. We'll also have the virtual breakfast with David Brown on the Sunday, and it'd be great to be able to attend that as well. All right, there will be a pitch submission on noon on the Sunday. So you'll all be submitting your final pitches and slides and videos, and we'll go through all of them, and we'll pick the top 10 pitches. Now there is a process for this, and we'll share that with you. But basically, the top 10 pitches will be chosen to pitch in a live session, such as this one, and so for everyone to be able to attend. And we'll have an amazing judging panel join us on that Sunday afternoon. Alan Jones, Adeline Chu, Janet Chia, and Jan Owen. So we'll share those profiles with you as well. But pitching in front of these people is something quite amazing, right? And you'll get feedback from them, and you'll probably even be able to get some follow-up conversations and feedback from these judges. All right, moving into the judging criteria. I don't know if Maya or Sharon, I feel like I've been talking a lot and I'm talking in front of my screen here. So if any of you want to jump in and kind of share what these judging criteria look like, would be great.
Guess it's me.
Yay!
All right, let's run through the judging criteria then.
I'll give you the slides because that's probably easier, right? So
okay.
First of all, how it works, I've already mentioned round 1 submission through a form. Round 2 will be a live pitch. Okay, what are we looking for?
All right, so the key judging criteria is, so first, problem and impact. So what we're wanting to do with this whole event is to really, really identify new problems that have come about because of COVID, and really innovative ways that we can solve those problems. So we'll be looking at what the value proposition is to customers, and did the team talk well to potential customers. So we do expect that through the course of the weekend that you do try and find potential customers. Now, obviously, you're going to have to reach out online, but we do want feedback. We want to make sure that there's an audience for the product that you're delivering. Then execution and design. So we are looking to have some sort of an MVP Now, that could be a working prototype, that could be a website. It needs to be something that basically creates a very, very simple version of what it is you want to deliver, so that you can go out to those customers that you've just reached out to in the previous criteria to make sure that this is something that they want and that you're building the right thing. So is the proposed product technically viable? And you need to note that an MVP is the minimum set of features to be able to start collecting data. So you don't have to build out an entire app during the weekend. But what you do need to do is create a system or process to be able to test your theory on what you want to do.
Very cool. All right.
You want to do the next one?
Oh, why not? I mean, this is kind of linking back to that first assessment that we did, and it's we're looking for something that solves problems in innovative ways. We're looking for I guess solutions that, in that sense, are going to, this links to the impact as well. But innovative ways means that there's potentially a larger impact to be created. There's an entirely new way to solving a problem, because obviously the solutions are not there yet, right? To a lot of the challenges that we're seeing right now. So newness, originality, innovation are important aspects to this.
Cool. So feasibility. So the project has to be realistic in the terms of legal, technological, and scientific aspects of the solution. So it should be possible to realize the project within a few months. So we are really, really looking throughout the course of this weekend to find things that can really be implemented. So the Techstars team are really, really wanting to find real solutions that will really be put out there on a global scale. So just try and make sure that as you're putting your idea out there, that you validate that this is something that you can actually feasibly do.
Great.
Business model, always important. So does the project have the potential to become a real business? Does the solution solve a core need? And have you demonstrated a go-to-market strategy? So have you managed to suss out that people are actually going to pay for this product or service that you're delivering, how they're going to pay, and how you're going to get it out there to those first few customers?
And I think that that's such an important one, right, Sharon? Because obviously we're doing these events around, and people are playing with their ideas. They're playing or experimenting with their entrepreneurial senses and with their entrepreneurial skills, but also making something real at the end of a weekend like this is awesome. And so just thinking about what would it take if on Monday you wake up and you actually want to get this happening, right? What's your next step? What are you doing? How are you getting users? How are you getting customers? How are you getting partners on board? We want to know these things, and also we want to know how we can then support you in doing that. Some mentor highlights. So we have like literally dozens, saying 40 to 50 amazing mentors that have put up their hands to be part of this. And I don't know if Maya already wants to say anything. I think there's too many to talk about all of their profiles, but maybe we'll just run through the slides and pick up on a few people that we that we know well. These mentors have been part of Startup Weekends in the past. They come from our professional networks, or personal networks. So I don't know everyone. Maya, I'm sure, doesn't know everyone, but collectively we've got quite a big network that has been engaged here.
Absolutely. We're very lucky to have so many mentors working with us, and sometimes they'll be working individually. Sometimes we've paired them up together so you can work with two mentors at once. You can see here we've got Chad mentoring, as we've already mentioned, and Mark, who works with Phil from QUT. We've got people from a few different universities. We've got entrepreneurs, we've got innovators, we've got people who specialize in pitching and tech. We've got Eleni from Commonwealth Bank, but she's also got her own startup. We've got a huge range. We've got Liz from CSIRO, who works in CSIRO but has started her own business within that organisation. A lot of incredible people, and you'll be able to book in multiple sessions with them. Julie Trell is the CEO activator, And we've also got Will Robinson, who's the VP of Sales for APAT for Techstars. So if you're interested in Techstars or any of the accelerators Techstar runs, he's a great contact for you.
A few people mentioning here on this slide as well is Victor Vicario runs the country's only dedicated hardware incubator and accelerator out of Brisbane here. So any of
one of the coolest spaces I've ever been to.
Anything you're working on hardware related, he's your man. Tim is one of my colleagues, so he runs programs with me and is the analyst on our investment fund. Steph is also a good person to talk to because she runs the Code Academy. So if you're looking for a network of technical talent, she's probably the right person to talk to, and she can probably help you with that.
Absolutely. We've got Honora here from the World Wildlife Fund. So if anyone's passionate about the environment or looking for solutions in that space, she's a great contact for you as well. A few more entrepreneurs, really just a great mix of people that have a huge array of skills that will be able to help you with various different things, no matter what your questions are. We've got people from FinTech, from Remarkable, a whole lot of places. So get excited. We'll be sharing a link with you very soon to book in your mentor slots. There'll be 20 minutes with a 10-minute buffer between each, but Phil will explain more about the sign-up process.
No, I think that sums it up pretty well. The process, this is one of those things that we've hacked, that we've had to hack together. It's like, how do you book mentors for 200 participants with 40 mentors, and imagine just the number of combinations there. And it's Dren on our team, and thank you, Dren and Daniela, who's been helping with that have been amazing in getting it up and running. There will be some hiccups along the way, just getting this all organized. So we, if there's anything that you need in terms of our support, you know where to find us. But basically the way it works is that you can go into Notion, and under the mentor tab, you can find the profiles of all the mentors. So there are descriptions, bios of each mentor, photos, their names, but also their specific expertise. So have a look at that in advance. Like, who's going to be, who are the people that I really want to talk to that are the most relevant to the idea that I'm working on. Obviously, all of these people are amazing. They can help you with general inquiries. They can help you with general mentoring for your early stage project and startup. But look at their sector expertise. Once you know who you want to talk to, you jump into the Google Sheet, and you'll find those same names, and you'll find the available slots. All right, and so you just go and put your team number. Okay, this is quite important because the team names might actually change throughout the weekend, but the team numbers should should hopefully stay the same for the sanity of the organizing team. Just keep the numbers the same, and so just put your team number in there. You've got a slot booked in, and there also will be a link in that same sheet that you can click on, and that should start the online video conferencing tool of choice of that particular mentor. So a lot of mentors have offered to meet in their Zoom rooms, their personal Zoom rooms, and so that's where you would go and meet them. Trust the process, all right? On this one, you will get there, you will talk to amazing people, and we will help you every step of the way.
Yeah, my biggest tip is just make sure you respect the mentors and their time, and you use it to the full potential. So try and show up on time. If you've booked into a session, make sure you're there. Make sure you check the schedule, because a lot of you have been pre-booked into schedule so that you know the process and understand that. And if you've got a team of 10 people, maybe divide and conquer, and don't all try and go to a 20-minute Zoom session, because by the time you introduce yourself, your time will be half over. So make sure you are strategic with your mentor sessions. Yes,
and that's a great point, Maya. Just divide and conquer is a good. I think it's something that you need to look at for the entire weekend. So if it's mentor sessions, if it's some of the master classes that are offered, but also the individual tasks that need to get done throughout the weekend, you can't all work on the same thing. When you do delegate, try to do it in smaller groups, because kind of working on something alone is quite an isolating experience as well. So maybe, small groups of 2. We're not going to tell you how to do it, but that's something that you can take back into your team discussions tonight. Who are the two people who are going to work on a prototype? Who are the two people who are going to really look at what validation looks like? Who are some 2 or 3 people that are going to be looking at the business models and potential partnerships that need to be landed?
Yes, and we're very lucky to have a session tomorrow morning as part of the virtual breakfast, all about tips and tricks for working as a remote team during a hackathon.
Great. And who's running that session, Maya?
That'll be run by Angela, who is the CEO of Hackathons Australia. So she's been helping with a lot of hackathons in the last few weekends. So she has lots of tips, what to do and what probably to not do. So that'll be a great session tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay. Great. A little bit about our tech stack, because it can be confusing at times. Here are the 5 things that we'll be using over the weekend. Your go-to is always Notion. All right, Notion is the source of truth. We'll be updating information as we go, but that's where you find all the things I mentioned before. Discord is our, for all of our chatter and collaboration. Google Sheets for various sign up needs. So Google Forms and Google Sheets. Zoom for some human contact. In this time, and then YouTube for tonight and on the Sunday nights. Team formation, next steps. Okay, you're all divided in your team channels. Okay, and in those team channels, you can have really good conversations about if you want to be part of this. You want to understand a little bit more about the idea. You want to understand about the skills that are required to make this happen. Have those conversations as much as you want, but at some point you start finding the people that you actually want to work with. When you find someone, just ask them and say, hey, are you in? Okay, your agreement. Okay, you've locked in one person. You're looking for a few more, right? And together you can then just go and hunt for that technical person that you're looking for, or that graphic designer that you're looking for, or whatever skill they may have that you're still looking for. But start locking them in little by little. The maximum team size is 10. All right, teams of 10 are really hard to manage. So I would even say, go smaller than that. Go anywhere between the 5 to 7, range. But obviously, if you go over, that's fine. We don't have a minimum, a minimum bound here, but you do need to have a team. All right. So I would suggest, to have teams of, at least 3 or 4 people, but definitely no solo founders in this experience. You'll get the most out of working with other people. Really, trust me in this. At the end of tonight, you will be registering your team. So we have another beautiful Google Sheet in which you can do that. It's very simple. You put in your team name, the idea owner, and then whoever's in that, and that's then basically locked in, at least as a starting point. Right, we know things happen over the weekend. People come and go. They have different engagements. They want to join our team, whatever it may be. That's fine. But at least we have a common starting point and say, hey, this is what this is who we're working with. Come Saturday morning, right? And obviously, we are here to help. Just talk to us on the various Discord channels. Speaking of which, I do want to say the following about the different Discord channels. So first of all, we've made team channels. We encourage all of the teams to stay in those channels until team formation has happened, until you finalize your team, and even also encourage you to continue using those Discord channels throughout the weekend. The reason being that these channels will be, no one wants to be lost in the noise of, chat that's happening. People should leave the channels that they are not part of. Okay, so leave teams that you're not part of. All right, and just make sure you have only your team in your channel. But what it means is that you can also mention us if you need something, for example. So if you have a specific question about what you're working on, then add me or add one of the organizers or whoever's on duty at the time, and say, can you come and help us, and we can come and moderate in team with you in Discord, and we always have access to you. We can come and check in. We can do a bunch of things. If you have general questions about how the event is running, put them in the Ask Me Anything channel. Okay, so the Ask Me Anything channel is probably the most important channel that you will have to go to, other than your team channel, because we are monitoring that Ask Me Anything channel at all times. Right, and so we will answer any questions that are dropped in there, and the answers are probably relevant to everyone else as well. I think that's probably all I wanted to say about channels. Obviously, you know, lots of people on Discord. You know, respect is another thing that, you know, we mentioned earlier, and that counts for all of the digital chatter that we'll be having in Discord. Also, that's the last thing I want to say, is that the Just for Fun channel is probably the second most important, or the third most important channel. I lost count already, but anyway, Just for Fun. Let's drop in some things there. We've started with photos. Let's do some more of that stuff. Okay, we're always happy to have content as well, and so if you have any ideas about stuff that you want to share to a broader audience through our social networks, just chat to us as well. Here are the links again, so you can start to see the system, you know, bit.ly, Startup Weekend Australia, --Notion, --Discord, --YouTube, and I can't remember, we have another one. But yeah, this is where you'll find all of the things you need. So before the night is over, all right, make sure, again, and I've already said this, is that you've actually formed your team, okay? Because tomorrow you really need to be ready to hit the ground running. If you don't have a team tonight, that's really hard to do. And also it means that you then go into this Google Sheet, you confirm your team, but it also means that as a team, try to have that conversation and try to define what are some of those first things that you need to do the next day, all right? So some of that delegation, some of those things that you should be looking at as a team, just jump on that tonight. And so everyone knows whatever they need to do early in the morning. And we'll have a virtual breakfast in the morning, so we can have a bit of a chat if you're lost and if you're not quite sure what's happening. But anyway, you want this to happen tonight. Otherwise, I can guarantee you will lose too much time. Do have a look at the mentoring spreadsheet, because you can start to booking time with mentors tonight if you want to. In fact, you can start to do it now, but I'm hoping you're just listening to what I'm saying and focused on that. But yeah, jump into the spreadsheet, book some time in with the people you really want to talk to, and you can keep doing that throughout the whole weekend. So yes, I've said this, tomorrow, 9 a.m. start, virtual breakfast. We'll have a masterclass with Peter Lorre, which will be the first one on starting up in some of the frameworks that you and mindsets that you should employ to be starting up. We'll have lots of regular activities. So again, check Notion, and we'll have some fun in the morning. We'll have some fun throughout the whole weekend. We're super excited about what's happening here. We're really excited to be part of something that is happening on a national scale. We're happy to be part of this global community and global network of entrepreneurs and innovators. And we're very, very happy to be spending 54 hours with all 200 or 250 of you. So let's unite to fight COVID-19. Together we can change the world. Hashtag COVID-19 Startup Weekend. And I thought I was at the end of my slides, but I did get in my mind today that I should also be making team slides, which was highly unnecessary and takes way too much time. But the advantage is now that we can actually pitch your ideas. Because even though you have looked at the channel, you've looked at at the ideas in Discord, it helps to maybe talk about them really quickly. So I'll invite Maya and Sharon back on the screen. Let's go through our 20 teams, and that basically will be the end of our session after this. So, all right, I'll start with team 1. So Luchai is the app that helps you stay physically and mentally fit, which is something really important, right? Breathing and moving. This is really what I want. So I want to be part of this, actually, or I want to use this. The next one is Maya's.
Yes, team 2 is Transitioner. They're all about creating online programs for seniors who are trying to find a job or start a business, which is so important because there's a lot happening for seniors at the moment and they're all stuck at home just like we are. So it would be great if this idea could get up and happen for people. I'll pass to Sharon for number 3.
Okay, team is Track and Trace. So it's collecting Wi-Fi and barely MAC address data to allow COVID-19 tracing, and allows you to opt in after the fact.
Very topical. Good. I actually don't know how to pronounce it, but Threatened blockchain. So blockchain, cool. Let's do something tech-enabled. It's a trusted international trade storing platform which premised on blockchain technology. I'm not really sure yet what that means. Okay, but that's okay. It sounds exciting.
We'll find out.
It's probably something to unpack in the team channel, right? In fact, after this, I'll jump in there and have some have some good questions.
Number 5 is network groceries. So eliminating high-risk supermarket zones while supporting vulnerable staff and elderly. And I'm sure if anyone's been trying to get toilet paper, pasta, food, anything, they will understand why this is such an important idea. So I'm very excited to see where this goes, so we can all feel a bit safer, especially vulnerable people in our supermarkets.
All right, Team 6, Upskill Hill. So like many, kids' classes and even karate are now online, but the experience is not very engaging. So this is all about finding ways for those people that are now teaching classes online to make it a little bit more interactive, fun, and engaging for the people that are participating, especially young people.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. I like that one. Survival, an antiviral.
Survival.
Oh, survival. Whoa. Okay. All right. Survival. Yes, I like it. Antiviral material dispensed in the form of spray over frequently touched surfaces. Yeah. Exactly. Where can I get it right now?
Cool. Awesome. Team number 8 is Care Package. So a mobile personal containment unit for developing countries to aid in the fight against COVID-19. And I'm sure we can understand why this is all very important. In Australia, we're struggling, but imagine how much people are struggling in other developing countries that don't have the same resources as we do. This is such an important idea.
Okay, Team 9 is the Gamified School. So it's an online gamified community which is increasing student engagement and mental well-being. Again, any of us who have young people that have been working on their schoolwork from home this week will know that it probably needs a lot to be desired. So yeah, finding those ways to gamify that community and make it more interactive again is a great idea.
Battle of Belzan, if I pronounce that correctly. A game to help people cope with mental health. All right, very good. Welzijn is well-being in Dutch, for those who are trying to figure that out. So I'm assuming that's where it comes from. All right.
Yeah. And number 11 is unfortunately not going ahead for this weekend. The person who pitched it decided that they loved some of the other ideas, so they've gone and joined that. But we do have a new Team 11 coming very soon, so keep an eye on Notion for that.
Okay, these things will happen, right, Maya? So some of the teams that, even though they've been shortlisted, they might not end up continuing. We've had a few late ideas submitted as well. Just letting you know, we're going through the same process. If you have a new idea submitted, we do have it assessed by a panel. Independent panel, and have a look at, I guess, again, originality and the potential impact. And so some ideas can potentially still make it into the weekend as well. We're just basically, the mission for us is for everyone to be working on exciting things, and to be working on impactful projects throughout the weekend and have a good experience through that. So we're more than happy to work with you on making that happen. All right, Sharon, this one's for you.
Great. So Team 12 is Deep Crisis. So Deep Crisis is the operating system for managing future pandemics and crises. Awesome. So, I think there's actually a couple of Netflix series that we've watched on pandemics, and we all know that this is something that probably been implemented several years ago, and definitely something that should be implemented moving forward.
Absolutely.
Good. Artmatic, combat job losses by enabling people to sell views to their live streams. Okay. I'm intrigued by this one.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Sounds interesting. All right, and it's all about creativity. So let's make it happen.
Number 14 is called We Prevent. So it's about making PPE equipment and supply transparent and affordable, which is very important. We want all of us, especially those in emergency services, to be protected as much as possible for their own safety and to reduce the spread and flatten the curve. So this is such an important idea.
Cool.
Right.
I like all of these names are pretty good.
They are.
Yeah, I'm enjoying them.
All right. So Team 15, Quarantine Canteen, a model to set up quarantine facilities to provide meals and services that are 100% safe from contamination. So yeah, another great idea. There's lots of people that are having to rely on external people to provide them with meals at the moment. I think that's really good.
Great. Oh, I've seen this one. I really like this one. But I'm really intrigued by who are the actual founders of this or the idea owners here. But Data Divas, right? Misinformation about COVID-19 is a really big problem. So this team sets out to find a data-driven approach using Twitter's API to combat some of that misinformation. So I think that's a really cool one as well.
Absolutely. And number 17, fever detection system. So this is about providing comfort in mind and protecting critical services from costly, unplanned shutdowns. And I think we can all understand why that is really, really important in Australia and across the world.
You get all the student and kids ones, Sharon.
I know,
Have you noticed that? Yeah.
I'm jealous.
So Team 15 is a personalised student coding course. So student opportunities have been cancelled. So what they're proposing is personal live courses which connect and drive students. So sounds good. I have content, so I'm looking forward to learning more about that.
All right. DGerm. All right. So I guess I'm getting all of these, right? So device to sanitize your everyday belongings using UV ray technology. Obviously, another big problem to solve, similar to the other idea we saw before. So this is actually a good example of a big problem that potentially has more than one solution, and probably where a variety of solutions are required to be able to create the impact at scale that you really needed to have.
Yeah, I'd love to have that. I've been spraying my phone with disinfectant, which is probably not very good for it.
Yeah, your phone's dirty. It's the dirtiest thing you carry with you, right?
Absolutely. Okay, Team 20. Posture reminder for home office. So this is about sensor-embedded clothing that corrects people's postures by giving tactile feedback, which I am very interested in because I've been having a sore back, a sore neck from working on the couch half the day. So having something to help remind me improve my posture would be incredible.
I think you have a sore back and a sore neck of from working on this until 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. Every night. I think that doesn't help. But yeah, we'll use this for sure. And Team 21.
There we go. So Team 21 is Hobbyland, connecting isolated and depressed people to suitable hobbies and communities to improve mental health. Awesome. This is definitely something that will be useful, not only just during COVID, but as we move on into the future, there are always communities with isolated people that need that human interaction. So I think that's a really great one to be working on.
That's awesome. All right, so that's all of the 21 ideas that we have so far. Some really exciting things in there. And so it's our mission to be working on all of these things and making some of that realities, making some of this happen. Maya, is there anything on the YouTube comments that we need to touch on? We've got a few minutes left, but otherwise we can wrap it up now.
It's all very exciting. Everyone's been asking. I think the most important question is Daniel Johnson wants to know if you're flexing.
The answer is yes, always.
That's what I thought.
Yep. Daniel, I'm really happy you're on this live stream. It's so great to have you
Yeah,
here.
very excited.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing coming from the comments is that people are still looking for team members. So don't forget to jump on Discord. If you're happy to work on any of the ideas, just go to the Forming a Team channel and share some of your skills. And don't forget how important it is to have teammates with a whole set of different types of skills. If you're not a technical person, that doesn't mean you can't contribute. Every team needs a mix of tech, of people with communication skills, people who can empathize, people who can market. It's just going to be great to have a whole group of different people working together.
Fantastic. Sharon, anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I'd probably just add in not to forget those partner bonuses. So people, I think there was one there from Upwork. And so, you know, so if you don't have all the skills that you need, don't forget that you can outsource some parts of your MVP development. So don't think that because you don't have the right skills on your team, that you don't have everything that you need to be able to deliver something awesome by Sunday.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
The only thing that I would add to all of that is that if you haven't submitted your work from home setup selfie in the Just for Fun channel, you should really be doing that because we really want to see who you are, what you look like. I know we'll have Zoom calls together, but come on, let's do it tonight. Let's see what's happening. I've been scrolling through them, and I'm just emotional by seeing everyone in their own context, in the comfort of their own homes, being part of this big innovation exercise. So thank you all for being part of this. We'll close it off now. It's almost 8 o'clock, and we'll dive into Discord. We'll all be into Discord in the next few minutes, and we'll be hustling to get those teams formed. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us this weekend, and let's change the world together. Thank you all.